Welcome to another episode of What the Hell is Wrong with My Z? So today we're going to be fixing the scuffed up paint on the control panels on the door of the 350Z. If you have a 350Z, I have a 2006 350Z, and when I bought it used, and every one that I looked at had the excuse me, the panels were all scuffed up, and I figured, well, that must be a flaw from Nissan, and it is. So I did some looking about how to fix it, and I found just some basic stuff, but I thought I'd make a video because all the videos I saw sucked. So let's take a look. So here's the panel. Now I've popped it out already, and it was kind of hard to pop out. But first of all, this is all, you would think somebody did this on purpose, but no, this is just somebody touching the panel. You can look, like, this is factory Nissan, but look, I just made a giant scratch in it just with my finger. And I don't have long nails, you know, they're just normal guy nails. So it doesn't take much. You just kind of, and you'll make a scratch on it. If you have a ring or something, it's gonna, you know, it'll scratch the crap out of it. So shame on you, Nissan. And then so what I did was I took a putty knife and I wedged it between the faux leather here, and there's some clips, and I popped and popped and popped, and it came up. And then I did it on this side, and that was a mistake because there's a plastic clip over here and I broke it. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But on this side there's a metal clip. The problem is getting down in there to reach the metal clip is kind of tricky. So let me show you what it looks like underneath. So here's the metal clip I was talking about. So that you would push in and it releases it from this side right here. That's what I should have done first. But there was no videos for anybody explaining how to do that, so I screwed it up and I went from this side and pushed in the clip over here, which is a plastic clip. Sorry. It's right there, and you can see I broke it. You can see the break right there. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So now I need to take out the control modules here and here, and you can see the clips are here, 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 and there, and then obviously on the other side. Once I pull those out, then this will come out, and then it's just a matter of sanding and prepping and spraying. So that's what I'm going to do today. So let me get the buttons out, and then we'll get to the prep work. Alright, I got the button modules off. They came off very easily. None of the plastics broke. So yay, that's good. I'm just going to tuck those back in there. I suppose I could have disconnected here, but it didn't seem that hard, so why bother? So I'm just going to tuck those back in the door while I work on this. And then this is the plastic piece. Here's you can see the array of clips here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 clips here. And then here is the broken piece on this end that I'm kind of bummed about. You can see it right there, it broke. Give you some three-dimensional perspective. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. That's a drag. Anyway, on to prep for this side. Removing the passenger side is a little different because we have this handle here, and it comes off real easy. You have 2 plastic clips, one at the top and one at the bottom. So I just put a flathead screwdriver between the door here and there, and I just pushed on the clip and it just popped right off. It was pretty easy. I imagine you run the risk of breaking this plastic clip off, so just be careful with your pressure. Don't push too hard, but it came right off very easily. And so now inside here, probably will not be able to see, but there is a 10mm bolt and on both ends down there, and I'm gonna use a driver to pull that out. And then essentially once this piece is off, it comes off the same way. We're going to pry, and this time I'm going to pry at the back first to pop it forward, not breaking this piece. So I'll try that and I'll let you know how it goes. The passenger side was much easier to come out. I used the putty knife up here, here, and here. It popped free, which gave me access here. And then I tried to put the putty knife back here, but it's too flimsy. So I switched to my flathead screwdriver. Sorry for the camera shakiness. I shoved it back there, hit that metal clip, and the whole thing just popped right off, like so. And I didn't break the front tab. As you can see, it's still intact. So one less problem. So now I have the same situation here with removing the unit, which I should do in straight order, and then I'll be able to prep and fix these. Look at this. It's not like the previous owner was writing on this. I mean, it just comes off. It just scratches. Look at all the scratches I can make just with my nails. So, like I said, Nissan, shame on you. You're better than that. Alright, let me get this out and we'll get it ready for prep. I started sanding it with a 320 grit wet dry sandpaper and doing it in my sink, and I just have a little bit of water run on it while I sand, and I only sanded just for a few seconds, and you can see it works really well. It got me down to the primer really fast. So I'm going to continue doing that and get the whole thing sanded, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I finished the sanding, and you can see the gray here. That's the primer base. That's the factory primer base, and you see the black that's sanded through. That's the actual black plastic. So that's the black plastic coming through. So the primer base, I don't think I need to sand that off. I think it's okay because I'm going to spray another primer on top of that. You do want to make sure that when you get the black stuff that comes through, make sure it is the plastic and you didn't miss a spot of the old rubberized coating that was on there. I also found that if I put a little bit of dish soap on my sanding pad and sanded, it came off faster. So it took me about 30 minutes to sand this completely clean like that, and it's ready for primer now. So I'm going to put some plastic primer on there, and then I'm going to spray it with a black paint. But first I have to do this one. So another half-hour sanding. So I'll be back. I was about to spray it, and I noticed that the primer was coming off kind of easy when I touch it. So I decided, you know what, the main coat, the top coat was bad from Nissan. I bet the primer's bad too. So I decided to spend the time and prep it and get it down to the base plastic. So I spent an extra half hour at least, actually it's probably closer to 40 minutes, sanding the crap out of this thing with some 400 grit paper, but now I have it down to the plastic. So now I'm going to spray a plastic primer on here, and I think it's just going to be better in the long run, because I would hate to go through all this work and not prep it. If you know anything about painting, 99% of it's prep. So this is ready to go to be primered. I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. I finished the process, as you can see. Looks really good. And that black piece of plastic that broke off over here didn't really matter. It snapped back into place really nicely. So I used some plastic spray paint for plastics, and I put a primer coat on and I sanded it, and then I put the black coat on, and I think it turned out really nice. I have like one little tiny mess up right there, but whatever, doesn't matter. And then there's this side of the door. Looks very nice also. And one thing that I think is important to note, I let them cure for about 5 days. I didn't put them in the car for about 5 days because the paint takes 5 days to cure, and if I would have tried to put it in here, it would have got scratched up or messed up. So now it's nice and hard. It's not going to chip when you handle it. It's really hard. So there you go. That's what it looks like if you sand, primer, and paint your window plastics on a 2006 350Z. I hope this was helpful. Stay tuned for my next What the Hell is Wrong with my Z?